Good evening, and thank you for tuning in. Good evening, good evening, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to Community Updates and Enlightened Hearts. I'm your host, Michelle White. Dr. Regina's not with us this evening, but we've got two phenomenal guests. We have none other than Mr. Booker T. Walker and Mr. Knuckles, Demetrius Knuckles L., who are both a part of an organization called Michigan Liberation, and we're so glad and welcome to have them here with us this evening. If you've got people that need expungements or maybe are incarcerated now and trying to get out, or they're out and need services and things, please call them up right now. Call a friend, call a neighbor, let them know. Tune in. We're going to be talking about some things that will help people, as we always do. And so before we get started, as we always do, we like to give you information. I have posted a lot of Section 8 housing, a lot of job opportunities, a lot of events and things that are coming out right on my Facebook page, Michelle Turner White. So go to Michelle Turner White on Facebook, and you'll see a lot of, there's few different Section 8 housing dates that I've posted, employment opportunities, diaper, baby giveaways, and different things like that. Tune into, go to Michelle Turner White on Facebook. And so you're watching us live right here on Wjzz Cool TV. We're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and all top platforms. Like, follow, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching Wjzz Cool TV. We're the coolest station in the world. And we want you to call in tonight. So get your pen and pencil ready. I'm going to give the number a few times. Jot it down. 313-355-6018. Again, that's 313-355-6018. We're hoping to even have some surprise guests this evening. So just get ready to tune in. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our guest. Well, we didn't get a bio from either one of them, but they're going to tell us a little bit. I'm going to let them share about themselves and what they've been doing. Demetrius, you want to go first?
All right, how y'all doing? I'm Demetrius Knuckles L. I go by Meech. And
not Big Meech, but Meech.
Big Meech without the money. I can go by that too. And
it's one of my favorite shows, by the way.
He'll never. It's my guy. So I'm a part of Michigan Liberation. I am an organizer with Michigan Liberation. We're a 501c4 organization. We fight to get laws changed that benefits us, and we fight to get laws eradicated that does not benefit the minority community and black and brown people. Right now we have a couple campaigns going on, but besides that, we'll talk about that later. Besides that, we get involved in any and everything that is beneficial to black and brown communities. I've been a part of Michigan Liberation almost since the inception, 2 months after the inception of Michigan Liberation in 2018. And I'll pass the microphone to my partner over here.
Mr. Booker T. Walker. Welcome.
Yes, thank you, Minister Michelle. And thank you for extending this opportunity for us to share to the community. As you heard, my name is Booker T. Walker, and I am also an organizer with Michigan Liberation, and I've been with them since 2019. I have personally been impacted by the criminal injustice system myself, and so I have skin in the game, but we believe that those closest to the problem can also be those closest to the solution, but we receive less power and resources. If I go to the doctor because I got a hangnail on my toe and he start looking in my ear, he's not going to know what to do unless I let him know. So we're advocators, and we let people know in the community. We're bringing education platforms to let folks know so that we can empower them, so that I can shut my big mouth and we can get other people that can come in and do this. And we need young people. We really reach out to the young people because we believe that any organization, if you don't have young people involved, that is dying. Any church or anything that's going, if you don't have the youth, and we have to include them, they are the future.
Are you all working with Calumet and some of the juvenile detention centers to help glean from some of the young people that are either in Calumet or just came out? There's two. Can't think of the name of the other one. Young juvenile detention centers.
We're not presently working with Calumet or any particular standalone youth facility. However, we do speak to youth as much as we can, because as Booker so eloquently put, an organization that is devoid of youth is a dying organization. So we make a hard push to educate, mentor to, and motivate our youth to get involved in their lives. We do this work for their lives, not for our lives, because they are the future. So we do this work for the future, and we encourage them to get involved in their future.
So let's see, I went on the website and took a little blurb from who is Michigan Liberation, and then I'm going to share a little piece here, and then I'd like you to expound on it. It says, Michigan Liberation believes in a radical transformation of our society. And one of the places where we have begun our work is a focus on healing our communities from the pain and trauma caused by the criminal legal system. So you all are helping to fight against things with the criminal legal system, things like the Good Time Bill, things like the expungement. There have been a lot of expungement fairs and workshops, but I'm anxious and want to hear more about
Currently bailouts also.
And bailouts, yes.
Black mothers bailouts in particular.
Okay.
Because right now the biggest surge in going into prisons and into jails are black women. And we are one of the lowest denomination in the population in the United States, but yet we are the largest population that's going in right now. That's appalling. They're getting ready to build some more women prisons if we don't do something right now here.
Right now, currently in the state, you're watching us now from the state of Michigan, even though we have viewers and listeners all around the country. So, but right now, there's only one women's prison in the state of Michigan, correct?
Correct.
And but there are like 30 men's prisons.
Right. And the women's prison under horrible conditions.
That's what I'm hearing here on Valley.
So there is only one woman's prison, and deplorable are the conditions. There have been women. I was once the lead organizer for the shutdown of Huron Valley Women's Correctional Facility just a couple years ago, which I'm still part of the coalition, and we still want to shut it down for the deplorable conditions, and women have passed away due to black mold that has been complained about to the administrators and everyone. They're not doing anything about it. So, but the difference between the men and the women's prison is that imagine one prison that holds 1,200 people and 14 prisons that hold 20,000 people. Well, this small space of 1,200 people, they're literally on top of one another. They don't have a space to whereas in the men's prison, it's deplorable too, don't get me wrong. But in the men's prison, you might have a moment to where you get emotional about anything, angry about anything, and you might be able to walk to the other side of the cell. Whereas in the women's prison, they're so stacked on top of one another that it's always a tension. It's always a tension. It's always a threat for bacterial infections. It's always a threat for someone ingesting black mold. It's always a threat for someone coming down with some type of disease, some type of virus, some type of bacteria. So these are the deplorable conditions that the women live in. But Booker just said that the fastest growing demographic of the prison population and the jail population is women, particularly black women. And if it's my opinion, and I don't want to hold the mic too long, but it's my opinion that the reason why they taking all the black women now is because they already took all the black men. And so now they're taking the black women because you are the carpet, you are the foundation of humanity, so they're going to snatch you. So now when the younger people go crazy, now they can justify building more prisons for the youth. And that's why
And we
meant it
do
to
know
be.
prison is just another form of slavery.
Absolutely.
Bingo.
It's the
And
new
it
Jim
starts
Crow.
even from the home, the what do you call it? The environments where I can't think of what you call it, but the living conditions like that people live in with bars and gates and projects.
Projects. Oh,
Yeah.
go there.
Well, it's where I've watched, there was a program I watched on how they set it up to start it, to get you already in line to get ready to go into prison. Let me get you accustomed to the bars. Let me get you
It's systematic.
accustomed to hearing the doors slamming harder and so forth. So it's been a system designed for years, and it's just another form of slavery. Now, I happen to work, volunteer in Huron Valley Women's Correctional Facility and Macomb County Correctional Facility. And so we're just going back into Huron Valley. And I have heard a few people, because from a volunteer's aspect, they don't show you all that.
Right.
We
They're
don't
not gonna
see.
take you back there.
We do go into the areas in the Huron Valley. Sometimes we're there where you're in a gym, but we do go into the cell areas where we can peer through where the cells are.
Right.
It's maybe
In
a
some
smaller
rooms.
community.
Peer.
However,
Yeah.
because they bring us water, and I heard the water is
Those
not
are
good
the
to
ones
drink.
that's the good behavior people probably that they bring through there, not going through the real ugly side of what's going on.
Well,
and
this
stuff.
black mold is making me say, okay, mask up.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you got to understand, women have sanitary needs. I talk to women out in the community all the time. See, we commune with the community. We don't mind going out there, that man or that woman that's out there smelling. See, I can go home and take me a shower. And so when we're out here, it was a lady that was telling me how right in the Wayne County jail right now, that if you go in there, if you're not on your cycle, that you don't get to wear your panties. And so this is a policy
If
that
you're not on your cycle,
Yes.
you don't, they
get to
take your
wear your
panties. So
pants.
you're walking around with no dignity. These are measures that they
Wow.
use to strip you down right from the beginning when they introduce you into the jail to let you know. It's just that slave mentality. It's just like the men when they go in and go into the county, Wayne County today.
we're getting ready to go into the new Wayne County jail
And we get ready to
shortly.
go. But one of the procedures are bend over and spread them. So it's actually a cavity search when it's absolutely illegal without having, because it's constitutional illegal unless they have a warrant to be able to do that, or have a
You mean
nurse
in jail?
and have a nurse and or a doctor. You cannot do a cavity search.
For a jail, but
body
you can
cavity.
for
no
a
matter
prison?
Where you are, your dignity is still held up under our Constitution. That don't mean because you in there that they can just do what they want to. No one belongs in cages. I don't
Well,
like
they
going to the
search
zoo.
us coming in as volunteers as well
Yeah.
and pat us down.
And guess what? Because they have never been checked. See, it has never been raised in up to the United States Supreme Court to where they could actually see what's going on. Because you just used the very word peer. And I clarified that for a reason. You said peer. We was in a position to where we could peer in. You can't look in. You can't look around. You can't go to the cell and talk to this girl or
Right.
that guy. You can't sit up and then
See how nasty it
control
is.
bubble and see how the officers act and react.
Without
You can't-
them there.
You can peer. So this is the picture that they give judges and congressmen when they go into the system. And we talked to several congressmen who verified that they peer into this. They say when they go there, it's all clean. And I say, I'm going to tell
Right.
you why it's clean.
'Cause we're there.
Even when I was there, they would tell us, we got so-and-so coming through, make sure the kitchen clean. I'm not making sure nothing clean. I want them to see how it look when they ain't here.
That's right.
And this is the picture that the wardens on down, especially it really is the inspectors, because that's who's in charge of the inspection of the facility.
Okay.
But the warden hands down the authority for them to dress up everything. Don't let her look allow her to peer, but don't, and always create a distraction. Have a good inmate over there to say, hey, Miss White, how you doing? Because she was just about to see something. So be careful when you go in there.
Remember when I just have to chime this in, when they was getting ready to have the football, the NFL,
Absolutely.
and they got all the people off the street that was out there hanging around there, put them in hotels and had places to take people while they was getting that scooting that that little guy on the ground that you had recorded. Remember that? I just wanted to just express that and chime that in.
I recorded.
Same thing they do at the prison. They clean up clean it up a little bit, and then that's when it's not no independent. See, you got to have independent people, and we know people who were independent in going into the prisons who could show up at any given time, and they had to let people in at that time when the inmates had the Michigan Department of Corrections versus the Kane case, CAIN. And I have a friend who actually was going up in there at any given time, a woman, and could show up at any prison, and they had to let her in, and she could go anywhere. That's what we need. And when you can go up in them jails like that, then you'll start getting some answers, and the real stories will start coming out. We don't want you to peer in. We want to see the whole shebang.
So what did you videotape?
I videotaped. I was on Woodward though. I was on Woodward at Empire Restaurant off Woodward in Peterborough, and there was a mental. All the homeless people hang out there on the streets, sleep on the corners. So there was this homeless guy. He couldn't walk. He would have to pull himself by his hands. Police pulled up on him. Somebody called the police. They made this man crawl, and I got it on video. They made this man crawl about 30, 40 yards. Made him crawl. Didn't pick him up. Didn't call mental health care or anybody in that field. They made, and I got a video. The man didn't do anything. He was just laying there. After because the first time I got the video of him, he was asleep. And I guess somebody walked by, woke him up. Next thing you know, the police. So this is what he talking about, how the police wanted him off this area because this is college area, because they want to make it look good. They want to try to cover up what the problem is, right? And this is what they doing in the prison system. This is what they doing out here. They cover up what the problem is, but those close to the problem is close to the solution. And that's why we speak up, because we understand that could have been me, and it probably should have been me at one point in my life, but it wasn't me, right?
Absolutely.
So now we have to speak out and speak on behalf of those who cannot speak for themselves, because that homeless person ain't gonna be sitting on this microphone. But I am, because I'm that homeless person.
That's right.
Well, you're not by yourself. I've been homeless, and I have a podcast now.
Absolutely.
It is only because of God's grace that I didn't go to prison.
Come on.
Right.
Okay, so I totally understand. And in this discipleship process, or as we're trying to help people, there are some of us who will touch the untouchable, love the unlovable. Doesn't matter how they smell, and I don't care about this.
That's right.
That don't matter. This is superficial stuff.
Absolutely.
So, but I also realize that that's not everyone's area. Some people are going to give money. Some people are going to give their time or their ability, but we're all still a part of the process to help with prison reform, and we're going to talk about that. But you out there that are listening right now, you've got either some relatives or you yourself have been incarcerated before. Call us. You got some questions? 313-355-6018. The phone lines are open. Feel free to give us a call. Ask your questions. Share your testimony. We all have a story. Gentlemen, how long were you each in prison? How long, Mr. Walker, were you incarcerated? We've got a caller. Hello, caller. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Wonderful. And how may we help you? And thank you for tuning in and calling.
I was trying to get to the podcast.
This is the podcast, Community Updates and Enlightened Hearts. We have two gentlemen here this evening, Mr. Demetrius Knuckles L. and Mr. Booker T. Walker, talking about Michigan liberation. Did you have something you wanted to ask or share?
No, I was listening in.
Awesome. Well, we thank you for listening in. Did you have anything you wanted to share while you're on the line?
Not right now.
Okay, well, thank
Well,
you for
reach out.
tuning in. Reed, thank you for calling and tuning in. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. And give us a jingle back if you've got a question or a comment that you wanted to make.
That's right.
Okay? Caller? All right. So you were getting ready to
Speaking
say.
on behalf of serving time, in 1985, I received an inappropriate sentence, 25 to 100 years, for taking a purse out of an elderly white lady's car. It was in Detroit. I had a racist judge. His name was Joseph Gillis, downtown in Detroit, and I was on my journey at 26. After that, I ended up staying in there 13 years. I got out. I was very angry going in, of course, with all that time and them sending me to the worst part of the prison system, into the bowels of the system, which was called 4 Block. There was a lot of killing and stabbing and all that stuff going on. But I come home, and when I come home with good intentions in 1998, after getting a re-sentence and getting 12 to 30, which was still extreme,
For the same case of the
for the
purse?
same charges
Same
and everything.
charge?
Still extreme, and I had to do it. It was a habitual sentence, so that meant you had to serve day for day. And so I served my time in the majority in max and level 4 because it was just hard and difficult for me to adjust and everything. But coming home,
Hello, caller. Good
Me
evening.
Again, the call dropped.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Did you have something you wanted to share, caller? You're on live on the line.
No, ma'am.
Okay, you didn't need to call if you're not going to talk. But we appreciate you calling in and listening. You didn't have anything that you wanted to ask or share about yourself, or ask a question or share something?
I wanted to listen into the podcast.
Oh, well, please keep listening. Please keep tuning in. Thank you for calling. We're going to open the lines back up for the next caller that might have a question or a comment. All right? Thank you again for calling and tuning in. Stay tuned in case you need to call back. Bye-bye. Okay.
First of all, I'd just like to say I was wrong for what I did. I was on freebase at the time, so I was an addict, and where there should have been more care, there was a really extreme punishment and everything, and I truly regret it, because I have a mother, and I had a lot of aunts and everything, and I have a sister, and so I just want to clarify that it wasn't just like, okay, sweeping up under the rug and everything, but truly it was racially motivated, but I didn't allow it to hold me back, because at the end of the day, I'm going to summarize it. It wouldn't be, that's another day, another show for me to really go through that process and give a testimonial, but where they placed me in a tomb was actually end up being a womb. And it gave birth when we were walking in the back 40s of prison yards, talking about what we wanted to do to prevent others that look just like us, not to be able to get caught up in this unjust system and end up on these same yards, especially when we seen the trend changing to the youth and everything. And so we seen, and it was mostly black and brown. Here it is. We're only 5% of the world's population, but we hold over 40 or something percent of the world's incarceration, and mostly black and brown and impoverished people. When you look at the numbers, it's staggering, it's mind-blowing, and it just clearly shows that things are done right in the open, but people don't see because they have their eyelids closed.
All right now. One of the things that you wrote, text me about when I had your title on, you said, I'm an abolitionist, I'm a social and criminal injustice crusader, and an organizer for the Michigan Liberationer. You definitely are a crusader.
I done been beat up. And I don't look like what I've been beat up in. I've been going through some challenges recently, even with my own health. I didn't think I was going to be able to be here, but I know how important this work is. It's sown in my heart, and I'm going to do it to the rest of my life. It was because of an opportunity given. That's what's wrong. We look at crime as not look as punishment, instead of looking at it through the normality principle, techniques that they use in other countries, where you look at it not as bad people who need to be punished, but broken people who can be fixed. With that said, we have to create opportunity. Just like James Brown said in the 60s, I don't want nobody giving me nothing. Open up the door and I can get it myself. That's opportunity. Why are we still singing them same songs? We're not asking no more. We're coming with demands.
And how's that working for you?
It's been working pretty good because
All right.
the people are coming and they're listening because they can feel the energy and the spirit because we're guided by God. This work is divinely prepared for only those who have been seasoned in life to be able to endure what we do. It's not easy.
That's true. So Demetrius, tell us about how long were you incarcerated and how long have you been out?
Let me first say that usually me and Booker we take jabs at each other and joke, but and I jabbed at him about being long-winded. He jabbed at me, but sometimes
And he's very passionate.
and he's very passionate.
Yes.
Sometimes when that spirit is speaking, you just gotta let a person go.
Yeah.
Because you can't wrap your arms around God. He wraps his arms around you. He speaks through you. You don't speak through him. And so sometimes you just got to let that spirit do what it do. And if it
And each personality is different.
absolutely. So when every word I speak is spirit, that means I'm trying to speak to your spirit and not just to your mind. And so as a juvenile, 17 years old, I was charged with first-degree murder. And it was a crime that I honestly did not do, don't know anything about to this very day. And I've been saying this for all of these years. Not to say that I wasn't a criminal, not to say that I shouldn't have been locked up, because I should have been, and I was definitely a criminal, and I definitely was in the streets terrorizing people. But I didn't do this particular crime that at age 17 I was charged with and sentenced to life without parole in prison. And so I served 28 years. And I'm going to tell you the short story. I was given a life without parole sentence. 1999, while I was in the hole. I was in the hole in prison, which is solitary confinement to those in other states listening. I was in a hole. And so something came over me in 1999. I said, man, I gotta get out of prison. I got life without parole. It dawned on me at that moment. And in that very moment, 1999, I was 26 years old, I grew up. I was 26 years old, I grew up, the light came on, and from then on, I stopped using curse words. I haven't used a curse word since I might say hell or something, but you know, I don't consider that a curse word. And so, because a lot of people, I've been through hell, so I can use that word. I've been through hell and back a few times. And I received certain blessings to be able to go through it and tell about it, so to prevent somebody else from going down the same path. And so 2012, the United States Supreme Court said it was unconstitutional to sentence a juvenile to mandatory life without parole in prison. So, of course, we have the prosecutor in Wayne County and the prosecutors throughout Michigan said, no, we don't agree with that ruling. We think the United States Supreme Court is only talking about the new people rather. So we argued, our defense attorneys are saying, no, this applies to everybody.
Look at what you're doing.
Not just the new people. So I see what you're saying now. So the United States Supreme Court, we waited 4 more years. And they said, 2016, January 25th, they said this applies to everybody. So 2017, I was resentenced and the life without parole sentence was taken up off me. I was given 32 to 60. Because I had 4 years of good behavior credit up under my belt, my 32 turned into 28. And within 6 months, I went from having a life without parole sentence to 32 to 60 to being free.
Glory, hallelujah. That's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing.
And at the end, I served 25 and a half. I have 4 failed paroles. I served 25 and a half for years. So it shows that even in recidivism, knowing that everybody usually that come home, I don't know nobody that's not excited about that moment and about coming home to the possibilities. But then when you come home and those possibilities are not there, that you envision, and a harsh reality hits you.
Say that. What are you envisioning when you come home that's going to happen?
Working, getting a job, being able to pay for mine, having a place to stay, being able to reestablish myself with my family, something I never experienced.
So were you thinking that those things were going to be given to you by somebody or
I
something?
know that I was going to need a job. I know that I was going to need some care, be it psychologically. There wasn't just medication, something that could really help engineer me back into reentry. Having people deal with people with the normality principle, showing that you care. People don't care what you say until you show them that you really care. And that's through your efforts. That's through connecting with your spirit. When you can look at somebody, sister in the eye, it's a powerful thing to know that when you can come from the back 40 of a prison and be on the front 40 out here in society and making a change, and it might not be happening as fast as we like because we need to have the community engaged. We need you to go to our website. We need you to look and see exactly what we're doing. Don't take Booker T or Demetrius' word. Analyze it for yourself. Look at what's going on. Come and let us know what's going on in the community. We fight for Pookie and Ray Ray, not just Pookie. We fight for Bobby and Susan too, but we fighting for the ones who getting kicked around for real.
Yeah.
Who do you go feed first? The ones that are hungry. Who do you clothe first? The ones who are naked.
So how did you get started getting a job? What organizations did you work with when both of you, either one of you can chime in? When you came out of prison, you needed to get a job, you needed to get a place to stay, clothing, so forth.
When I first got out, I got out October 2nd, 2018. I had to get my credentials in order.
Did you go to
1 week later,
Crossroads?
No, I went to we had a team with us. By this time, the juvenile lifers was the hottest thing out, coming out of the prison system. So we had all the attorneys and interns and everybody able to drive us around, help us go to Secretary of State, City, County, wherever.
Is that still offered? Do they still have teams that help the juvenile lifers?
Definitely.
So,
but it's some of us now.
okay.
Some of us who are out here now are doing the very thing that the interns was doing for us. We're doing for the ones
So
coming
giving
out.
back.
Yeah. So 7 days after I was out, the following Thursday, I was asked to come to Church of Messiah. And I ran into this young guy with an old black and white flyer in his hand that really didn't appeal to me. And it just had a few words on there. It said Michigan Liberation Launch or something. But I knew the guy. The guy is Nicholas Buckingham. So he knew me from prison. And plus I knew his father. He was like, man, come out, man. We got some stuff going on. So I'm like, man, I got to get my feet wet first. And so I was there to do some canvassing. That was my first job, canvassing. That Thursday, I was there with a group of people about to do some canvassing. That was my first job, $18 an hour canvassing. I'm happy as can be. So $18 an hour, I just got out of prison making 17.5 cents an hour. So now I'm making 18 an hour. Did nothing else matter to me at the time. I'm helping people and I'm getting paid to do it. So that was my first job. And from then on, job after job, literally, fell in my hands. And I tell people this all the time. If you keep your hands closed, how are the blessings gonna fall into your hands? I kept my hands open. And blessing.
Were
after
you
blessing
speaking
came.
out
Closed mouth
things?
never gets
Absolutely.
fed. We talk about that too.
I was being called to speak at certain events, share my story at certain events, but they weren't paying me. So my attorney at the time, specifically big ups to Susan Manberg, My attorney specifically said, she said, Demetrius, these people are getting paid for y'all to tell y'all story at their events. Make them pay y'all. So they started paying me to tell my story at events. And from then on, you know, I had offers from all the way to Ellen DeGeneres Show to A&E Channel contacting me. I had the news reporters following me around all the time. So I had a lot of opportunities, but I kept my hand open. See, I was humble enough to keep my hand. I wasn't too prideful to I wasn't angry with my fists closed, with my mind closed. My mind was open and my hands was open.
And sometimes, you know, at least for a period of time, this is your platform.
Absolutely.
A lot of times people don't want to share their testimony.
Yes.
Don't want to. I want to put all that behind me. No, you went through that for a reason.
Yes,
and
right.
it's to help somebody
Open your
else.
mouth.
And open your mouth and help somebody
I
else.
understand somebody who might have done some crimes that may not want to say certain things and stuff, because it's harsh that we live in a society that's judgmental towards people who have had that label on them. But one thing I can say is the system in the world can't define me or what God created me to be. So
That's right.
I was able to get a job even not being able to get expungements, and when we was running expungements and everything else. This is not a job. This is a calling. We don't have bosses. We have directors. We believe in somatics and self-care and taking care of yourself. This here labor, it really wears on you, you know, and if you don't take care of yourself, then you might not be here and everything. But I got to give a shout out to also in Detroit Church of the Messiah, Judah Tabernacle, City Covenant, church in Detroit. Judah Tabernacle is in Melvindale. These are places that I joined up when I come home and started involving myself with prison ministry. Also with the One Day God Camp, going back into the prison.
Yeah, I'm just getting ready to go to that.
You know, and that was like right after getting off of parole. It show you how God moved. You're supposed to be off 5 years. I had been off like 6 months or less than a year, and I was up in there going in there. I went through the front door, the back door that time, which they always brought me in, was through the back door. But what happened is that I walked through that front door the same day that I went in after serving 25 and a half years. When I walked out that door, I knew God was on my side. I had never went into prison from the back door, and I stayed years, sometime decades at a time.
So you were able to come out of prison, and God allowed you to go back into the prison in a different capacity.
Absolutely.
That does not happen. That is God. Because
Absolutely.
there are plenty of people that want to go back and, you know, give back to their brothers and sisters, but they don't just let you in. One of our other mutual friends just got back into being able to go into the jails after having been out for 3 years. That's unusual. So, but with God, all things are possible. What's
That's right.
impossible with man is possible with God.
If they go through our website right now, tell them about the bailouts and the videos and the experience. I wasn't able to experience it because I had a setback with my health, and I had to sit back and watch from the sidelines, so I wasn't in the game. But it was hard. But he can explain.
You mean the event you have coming up?
No.
Okay.
This is our Black Mama's Bailout.
Okay.
It started in 2000. It was conceived in 2018. Our first bailout was 2019. And we have bailed out over 100 black mothers. It started out as Black Mother's Day bailout, but you know, with us, we dropped the E's and R's at the end of mother and brother, and we brother. So it's now it's Black Mama Bailout and Michigan Black Mama Bailout. And just recently, we just bailed out, and we got a whole lot of people we about to bail out over the next 2 weeks. There's about to be a lot of mothers that we about to bail out.
Awesome.
But-
And how you guys are getting funding for this?
Yes.
Okay.
But our organization was
join
paying
up with
for
us and come with us.
Yes.
What did you say?
We accept donations, right?
Okay.
But our organization was taking care of the load at first. Our organization, but then
Michigan
funders-
Liberation
yes,
Organization.
That's Michigan Liberation, y'all. Y'all can go on our website,
Respect the
Michigan
roots.
Liberation, and you got to respect the roots because we are a grassroots organization, and we only talk about respecting our roots, not somebody else's roots, but our roots, because that's the root that gave birth to us. And so we bailed out a few females just recently.
Awesome.
And I did an interview with the parents before, and then the young lady when she came out, then and they are so ecstatic, and it's such a feeling to be able to go. I haven't been into the prison system to speak to the brothers and sisters yet, but it's such a feeling to go into the jail, the county jail, with some bail money to bail somebody out, the same jails that I didn't have no bail in. And it's such a pleasure to see them come out and smell that air, and they only been there for 30, 40, 50 days, 60 days, maybe 90 days, and they smell that fresh air, and it's like they sense what freedom means now. Because with me, it took 28 years before I smelled the air of freedom on the outside of a prison gate. But for some of them, it felt like 28 years to them, even though it was only 30 days, 20 days. Because one day behind bars is a life sentence for anybody.
Tell me about it.
Often not knowing we coming to get them.
Listen, the young lady we just bailed out, she has seizures. Her mother was concerned with them locking her in a cell by herself with no bed, no nothing, and her mother is concerned because she have grandma's seizures in the head that people, if you don't know her, you really don't recognize that she's having seizures because she might not do all the other stuff that other people do. So her mother was concerned with her falling and hitting her head while in jail, and she was in jail for something very, very, very minor. Most black women are in jail and held on bond, especially in Macomb County and places like that, for literally crimes that are so not a threat to society, but they're held on these bonds. And so it's our duty as people, not our job, but our duty as people and humanitarians, that we go assist these sisters, and we do assist brothers too. But right now, this is Mother's Day month, so it's all dedicated to mothers, because that's how we started off. Black Mamas Bailout. Now we're returning to our roots, and it's Black Mamas Bailout in May. So we going to get so many sisters. We got a list of them that we already got wrote down, a list of them that we're going to get this month. If we can help them, we helping them.
So one of the things then that Michigan Liberation does is bail out people.
Yes.
And then how are you helping with expungements and people that want to get expungements?
Right now, we are aligning people to some of our former partners. We don't have funding for that right now, but because networking is important and we are in coalition with a lot of our partners, when folks contact us, because one organization can't supply all the needs to a broken community that's basically on life support.
Yes.
And just sit there and provide all those needs. That's why it's important for us to connect. That's why it's important for the community to engage. And that's why it's important for us to get involved civically. And those are the things that we want to do. We're here to educate in the real sense of things, to show people what really is important. We often think that a presidential race might be something to be more important, but we have come to understand that the local elections, that are the laws and the policies that affect us on any given day, every day, are the ones that we got to look at, and those people who are in those positions. That's why we fought on one of our biggest first campaigns was prosecutorial accountability. We believe if you're going to hold the community accountable, then you should be held accountable too. The problem is that when a lot of these goofballs get into, and apologize for using this kind of language, I would probably much prefer to have said something else, because it's been going on all my life, is how they play games with the politics. You got one side pointing the finger this way, you got one side pointing the way this way, and in the middle, Pookie and Ray Ray, they suffering. And the rest of the people that look like them, or if you don't have no money. Now, we are not just saying that we are looking at one ethnicity of people that we're talking about, because when it looks like, and I'll close, is that when we talk about race, I often say, well, what are you talking about? The Indy 500, the Kentucky Derby, or the Boston Marathon? One time I saw a turtle race, and guess what? It was real boring too. But when it comes to humanity, all I know is one, and that's the human race.
So you all are encouraging people to get out and vote. at all the elections because our vote does matter.
right.
And we do need to be involved with voting on the local level as well. A lot of times people think that the other elections, other than the presidential elections, the other ones don't matter, and that's so not true.
Let me say this here. I want to talk to the mothers and the fathers, right? When your son get arrested, think about who the chief of police is. Because the chief of police is appointed by somebody that you elected, which is the mayor, right? So if the chief of police is corrupt and the mayor has not established a check and balance for him, then we need to unseat the mayor, right? Think about this. If there's ordinances in the city, then these ordinances were established and approved by the city council, right? Every district has
Hold on a minute,
council
caller.
member. Every district has a city council member. If that city council member is not abiding by the word of that particular district, if they're not standing up for you, then we can unseat them. Though their names will be on ballots too. These are the names things that we got to think about. The fire chief, the police chief, the school superintendents, all of these. These people are in charge of taking care of our children. Shouldn't we be concerned with who taking care of our children, their prior record, if they have any, of good or bad deeds? We supposed to be concerned with this because our children are going to be in their care more time than they're really in our care. Because when they come home, they're going to play for a little bit and go to sleep. But when they go to school, they're there for 7 to 8 hours. So we got to be concerned with local politics, the judges, the
School
prosecutors,
boards,
the school
all
board.
that. We got a caller. Caller,
Ooh.
thank you for sharing that.
Doing?
All is well, thank you. How are you? Thank you for calling.
Great. Wanted to call in. How you doing, Mr. Michelle? This is Orlando Gregory.
Well, hello, sir. There's a man right there. I met you all through Hope organization, and I work in prison ministry with Elder Orlando Gregory. How are you this afternoon,
That's my
sir?
man. That's my man.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I just had to get in on the call. Just got finished taking care of some other business,
sir.
but I think I got in at the perfect time. I hear Booker T in the back. Someone else on the line, but I think I got in at the right time when the brother was expounding on the city council folk, and then he had mentioned the fire chief. He had mentioned that the city council people select the fire chief and things like that, and I got real happy because I'm the fire chief.
That's right.
How you guys?
So you all have an upcoming event. Tell us about this upcoming event where you'll be speaking, Elder Orlando and Demetrius Knuckles. I believe it's an event that you are putting on.
Okay, this event is through my personal nonprofit, Good Heart Youth, the Great Minds Project. We are our aim, our goal, our objective is to end the school to prison pipeline and to assist families in our communities that's mentoring to youth and mentoring to parents as well. Because without the parents, I can mentor to the youth all day, but once they got to go home to the parent, if the parent is not, helping to encourage what I have already mentored to their children for, then they're going to turn the left cheek anyway. So that's what Good Heart Youth, the Great Minds Project, and the Great Minds Project 5.0, because I'm 5 times stronger on my podcast, because I'm able to speak to people. I'm 5 times stronger because I am indoctrinated with the impregnable doctrine of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So I put together this event because I hear people and I love good energy. And when I first heard Elder Orlando Gregory, I told Booker, I said, I found the pastor the elder I was looking for. I said, I found him, because I had been looking for somebody, and I heard him. But
There was a sound you were looking for.
I needed that. I said, that's him right there. When I heard Wayne County Sheriff Raphael speak, I've heard him speak many times. I knew right away I needed him, because he is going to tell the story of those who come into his presence.
So you've got Raphael Washington is speaking, Elder Orlando Gregory is speaking, who is the executive director over the Wayne County Jails Outreach Ministry.
See?
So we're all going to be going into the Wayne County Jails. You want to expound on that a little bit, Elder Orlando, or when that's going to happen, or Tell us a little bit more.
Absolutely.
You even got a mentoring program that you're doing now.
Absolutely, and I certainly appreciate Demetrius Knuckles inviting me. The flyer looks wonderful, and I look forward to the opportunity to definitely bring my portion to that synergy into the whole thing. But at the same time, we got so much going on in the Wayne County jails. I'm the executive director of Wayne County Jail Outreach Ministry. We've got maybe 15 ministers in preparation to get ready to go to the new jail, which is about to open maybe end of June or 1st July, doing all of the moving of the judges and the courts and everything over to that one location off of Warren and 75. And so we have a lot going on with that. Got about 15 ministers already vetted to go in to saturate the jails, and at the same time, when they get out of the jails, we have all the resources they need: clothing, food, gift cards,
Furniture.
at the same time, we also teaching a mentorship class, which is one of few in the country that we teaching at Macomb Prison. So we not only in the MDOC, me and Reverend Spruill with Hope Foundation, we also take care of the Wayne County Jail. So we got a mentorship program. We just graduated 12 guys. We got 15 more starting for the 12-week course embedded in Macomb Prison. So we're doing mentorship. We're doing all we can to help the brethren that's going to be coming out and those who are there. So we just have a true gift for the returning citizens, to reduce the recidivism and reentry citizens. So this is what I'm called to do. This is who I'm sent to, and we're doing all we can in the Wayne County jails and also Macomb. And we've got other opportunities, Huron Valley. Of course, Mr. Michelle's been very instrumental in helping us get in Huron Valley. So we just saturating all the places where our people are incarcerated, so we can get them developed and get that spiritual man right, and at the same time, the natural man right. The holistic approach is working effectively, and I just thank God for this opportunity to work in the vineyard with Minister Michelle and brothers like Demetrius Knuckles and Booker T. And me and Booker T was back to back at that one meet. Where I put Booker T, come on, Booker T, let's go get him, baby.
I got the pictures. I got the pictures.
So glad. I'm excited about it. And the pictures, I really appreciate the invitation to the event on June the 22nd. And I look forward to participating in it. It's going to be powerful. You hooked up with the right person. God has called us to be together, brother. So
Absolutely.
I got you all the way. I look forward to the opportunity.
And all you got to do is, I'm not an ordained minister, but I am a self-proclaimed minister,
life is a
minister of
ministry.
peace, a minister of peace, a minister of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and just a minister for the people. So if you ever need me to come through any of those places that you navigating,
You better come get us.
Just you got my number. Hit me up. Because this, like Booker said, this ain't a job for us right here. This is our duty to humanity. This is our life. This is like my second breath right here, man. I love this stuff.
So, gentlemen,
Yeah,
mine
there you
too.
go.
We all, it's a life. This is what God has called us to do. So before we get ready to go, I want you to, Minister Elder Orlando, did you have something you wanted to, an event? I'm going to tell them about this Summer Without Violence event and give the date and the information for that. Is there another event, sir, that you have coming up that you want to share? You just mentioned that Wayne County Jail is opening up soon.
Yep. And another thing, Mr. Michelle, I'll make sure you get the flyer and we'll connect with Demetrius and Booker T. We're going to have another one of those, My Story, God's Glory.
Oh, awesome.
Part 4.
I love that.
Which is going to be powerful. So I'll let them know, and I'll pass all the information to you, and they can show up. It's going to be powerful. Your story, but God's glory.
Yes, those are wonderful. I always enjoy attending those. Thank you so much for calling in, and I will see you Sunday at prison.
That's good. See you then.
All righty. So thank you for calling. Have a great evening. And I see before we go off, a Summer Without Violence event is going to be on June the
22nd.
22nd, and people want to attend. The number to call is 586-696-7018. Again, that number is 586-696-7018. But if they just want to attend, what is their website they can go to? And I see you've got Hill Harper, who will be one of your speakers, who's also running for a Michigan Senator in a Senate race, and Bobby Christian, a community activist, philanthropist, and we mentioned already Raphael Washington, who is our Wayne County Sheriff. And so this is on the 22nd of June from 12 to 4.
12 to 4.
At Bald Duck Park.
That's on 5271 Canyon Street, Detroit. And if anyone knows where Little Mac and Little Mac St. John's Hospital sits on Little Mac at, is right down the street from there, literally right walking distance down the street from St. John's Hospital on Maross and Little Mac.
So tell us how to get in touch with both of you before we have to go.
They can contact me at booker@miliberation.org. Or they can go to the website of Michigan Liberation, either on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're all out there. We're not excluding nobody. And last but least, I just like to just quickly shout out to my brothers in the Nation of Islam and the Mighty Moors, the Moorish Science Temple of America, because they helped lay the foundation for me to fight. And I give my Islams to the brother and everything, and I like to include all, because it's going to take us all to make this change. We got to come together.
Any words of encouragement for people that are leaving out? And I need you to share how to get in touch with you real quick.
Absolutely.
You got it.
You can get in touch with me at Demetris, that's DEMETRIS, at miliberation.org. Or you can get with me at my phone number right there at the bottom of that flyer, which is 586-696-7018. I also have my my email for my organization, the Great Minds Project 5.0 at gmail.com, at the bottom of my flyer. But you can look me up on any social media channel up under Demetris Knuckles Hill.
Any words of encouragement, gentlemen, for those who can't get expungements, or still locked up, or relatives still locked up? Yes, sir.
17 felonies, 4 failed paroles, serving 25 and a half years. I emphasize, a certified crash test dummy. And look at me now.
Yeah.
And it's only because the grace. Don't give up, because if you have the seed of a mustard seed, you can move any situation that's in your life that we call mountains. Don't give up.
Thank you.
Wow, he ended that just where I need to pick up at. I don't care how high the mountain seems to you. I don't care how high it seems to you.
Testify.
Come on now.
Listen, I sat up and looked at a mountain one day, and I was like, I'll never be able to get over that mountain. That mountain was my life without parole sentence. But the closer I got to that mountain, the smaller it looked, the smaller it seemed, the smaller it was. And little did I know that God had a plan for me. He said that mountain that you were so scared of from so far away, now look at you. You're looking at face to face. Fight your fears, face your fears, defeat your fears. And I sit here today because I defeated a life without parole sentence, because I stayed faithful to who I am, who I want to be, and the man that I aspire to be.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for your time, your treasure, your talent.
Thank you. And thank you, audience. And please contact us. We can't do this by ourselves.
Absolutely.
I need to shut up some so some of y'all can move on. You do too.
Well, y'all get in touch with MichiganLiberation.org and help to make donations. Whatever you can do to help, together we serve our communities. Again, thank you for tuning in to Community Updates and Enlightened Hearts. I'm your host, Michelle White, and we'll look to see you next Wednesday, 6:00 p.m. Thank you again.
Thank you, Minister.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
Oh, yeah.